Hello and welcome to round 5 of the PowerMax Mini Challenge from the summer race day here at Combe. It may be summer, but the weather is extremely changeable and it resulted in particularly difficult conditions for qualifying earlier. Let's see how they got on.
Just kept pumping the laps in and really great qualifying.
Managed to scrape a decent lap together at the end and got back up to third.
I'm learning the track each lap. We were taking time, so we're getting there now, very slowly.
I don't do fantastic in the wet normally, but I was pleased with what I did there. You know, came back in with a big smile.
I didn't do too bad, but I could have done better, I think.
We made some big changes on the car, so I'm happy, confident for the race.
I came up to, I think it was Camp corner, and over-braked a little bit. Kind of beginning to think I was in the dry, and I managed to get on the grass, realised I was in trouble, and just kept my foot hard down to try and get grip on rear wheels. So as I kept my foot planted, I couldn't really turn in onto the track because the rear would come round and hit the wall. So I had to just hope for the best. And at the last second, I was convinced I was going to hit the corner there as you came onto the track, but I went past it and I must have brushed it. Tried to kick my foot down, the car just spun. But it was a close call.
I used to love the wet when it was rear-wheel drive, but in front-wheel drive, it's a nightmare.
Well, the teams were left guessing right up until the cars were in the assembly area at the start of the first race about what the weather would do. Would it be wet or dry? In the end, the smart money was the compromise. Slicks on the front, wets on the rear, sets up for a very interesting race.
Well, things have definitely dried up on the track here for the first of the double header in Wiltshire. Although the track is still a little bit damp, it's definitely going to have affected the choice of tyres. Luke Caudle's got his mini mojo back. He is just behind Chris Knox, who finds himself on pole for the JCWs. Let's get the full grid from Ben.
Thanks, Michelle. Well, it's hardly news that the PowerMax Mini Challenge has a huge field, and it's headed by Chris Knox. He shares the front row with Luke Caudle. That's Lawrence Davey and Neil Newstead on row 2. Henry Dupree and Kevin O'Connor, not deterred by that moment in qualifying, lines up 6th. Shane Stoney heads the Cooper class field from Josh Gollin, Gideon Cresswell and William Phillips. It's a good qualifying though for the lady drivers. Grace Williams well up, as is Joe Polly Goldin. They'll both be looking for a good result. It's Mark Wakefield who completes the pack. So we get ready for the start then here at Combe. Away we go, and it's the 888 car of Chris Knox that eases away from pole position as they sprint towards Folly for the first time. As you can see, this section of the circuit is substantively dry. The Cooper's very close, but it's Shane Stoney who's got the jump from Josh Gollin. Ian Cresswell going side by side with William Phillips as they climb up over Avon Rise into Quarry. It's Knox who turns through. The right-hander Henry Dupree easing up into 3rd position, as the Cooper's almost side by side between Stoney and Gollin. William Phillips in pursuit of the spin there from Alan Taylor. Gideon Cresswell almost rotates in avoidance, but they all seem to have got through cleanly. No contact, no harm done. Good scrap going on for 4th. It's the green and black car, Neil Newstead, heading the bright blue car, Lawrence Davey. Then Hamish Brandon next long. Good to see Kevin O'Connor going strongly as well. Kevin looking to make that move through Hammerdown into the braking zone for Tower. Lawrence Davey also tried to find some space to the inside. Neil Newstead, which he does. Brilliant move that from Lawrence Davey. And Kevin O'Connor had a great view of it. Then on to Bobby's. Newstead busy defending from O'Connor, with Hamish Brandon just sitting and watching next long as O'Connor looks to draw alongside Neil Newstead as they accelerate along the Dean Straight on towards Camp. Out front though, it is Knox and Caudle who are breaking clear from the field, and they really have put a little daylight between themselves and Henry Dupree in 3rd position. The challenge for Caudle though, after that disappointing outing at Alton Park, is firstly, can he get the car to the checkered flag with no dramas, get back on the podium, but more importantly, can he usurp this man, Chris Knox, and return to winning ways? It's been a brilliant start to the season in terms of the dicing between them. What about Shane Stoney and Josh Gollin? Lights ablaze at the Cooper class front runner Shane Stoney. He's really being pursued here by Josh Gollin. The beauty of the Castle Cooper circuit is that you can slipstream very effectively. And therefore, Josh Gollin for the moment letting Shane Stoney do the hard work. Stay those seesaws at the wheel through Quarry. You can see on this section of the circuit there's still a narrow dry line. It's still a little bit damp. If you move away from it through the S's then. These chicanes added to the Castle Combe circuit in time for the 2000 season. I mentioned the challenge before they then have the very quick sprint on towards the imposing Tower corner. Meanwhile, Gideon Cresswell looking to make progress from his earlier spin. He is in pursuit of Adrian Norman. Knox and Caudle get in and amongst the traffic now. It's Mark Wakefield whom they catch first. Now this could give the opening for Caudle to maybe close up onto Chris Knox. Both drivers very well versed in the art of sidling through the traffic. Knox then past Max Lever. Great to see Max back in the Power Max Mini Challenge. And then on to challenge Adrian Norman. But you can see here with the chicanes and the corners coming thick and fast that Knox can make that move on Norman before they arrived into the S's. Caudle couldn't do it until the exit. Great scrap here between Max Lever. He's got Chris Stoney just in behind him. And then also Mark Wakefield, the three Cooper class runners separated by 3 car lengths, as this is the fight for third place in the JCW class. The black and white car of Henry Dupree, bright blue machine Lawrence Davey. Now Knox and Caudle up onto the battle at the very head of the Cooper class, and Shane Stoney in turn doesn't want to be delayed here too much by Luke Caudle sidling through, because Josh Gollin is not that far back. Grace Williams is the next target for Shane Stoney, who gets pushed down a little bit wide on the exit of the S's. He keeps his foot in as they arrive into Old Paddock. That you can see Josh Gollin, the red car on the checkered flag roof, is giving him the opportunity to really close in as we move towards the latter stage of the race. In car with Gollin, darts the inside at Tower. Has time to say thank you on the exit. Hope for the rest of us to have that driving talent, as then Josh Gollin sets about bouncing on 3 wheels in pursuit of Shane Stoney as they accelerate on towards camp. And you can see how that gap has come down. Meanwhile, Knox and Caudle still separated by just a couple of seconds. All about the fight for the Cooper class lead. Max Lever is their next target, and Max, you can see there, he's consulting his rearview mirror. He knows exactly where Shane Stoney and Josh Gollin are, and makes sure he stays well out of the way through fully. He doesn't want to intrude on this fight for the lead in the Cooper class. Right into Quarry, and Josh Gollin almost flicks the car sideways in pursuit of Shane Stoney. You've got to be wondering as well, those of them that started with wets on the rear, they're going to be feeling a little bit worn out by now, because it's not rained during the race. Right, next challenge then for Shane Stoney is Adrian Norman, and again, really nice driving there from Adrian. Doesn't interrupt this battle at all for leading the Cooper class, which, if you're a fan of Shane Stoney, is very good news. If you're a fan of Josh Gollin, you could have done with maybe a 1/10 of a second or so's delay. So Chris Knox and Luke Caudle surge through camp, getting into the latter stages of the race here. We go past the Power Max car of Joe Polly Goldin. Luke Caudle's going to have to rely here on misfortune, I think, for Chris Knox. Meanwhile, Shane Stoney and Josh Gollin look to battle. They've got third place man Lawrence Davey, though, closing up onto their tail. Let's hope that doesn't interrupt the battle too much, as Gollin now really looks to challenge over and rise into Quarry. Gollin looks every which way, but Shane Stoney does exactly what he needs to do, which is stick to the racing line. And if he does that, it makes it very difficult for Gollin to find a way through. They've got the faster JCW class car, Lawrence Davey, who darts the inside. Shane Stoney, though, having absolutely none of it into the S's. Josh Gollin tried to do an Eddie Irvine on Ayrton Senna at Suzuka in 93 and unlap himself. Now Lawrence Davey gets his right foot planted, powers past Gollin once more, and finally eases clear of Shane Stoney. Meanwhile, the checker flag is poised and ready, and it's victory for Chris Knox. Yet another triumph in what has proved to be, thus far, a fantastic 2014 season. Second place goes the way of Luke Caudle. But what about the Cooper class? They have got Neil Newstead and Hamish Brandon also joining in, trying to put the lap onto them as they surge into Camp Corner for the final time. Third place in the JCW class goes the way of Lawrence Davey, and Cooper class spoils do get claimed by Shane Stoney just from Josh Gollin. 0.4 of a second between the pair of them at the line. Let's have a look then at the top 6 in each class. Within the JCW class, Chris Knox victorious from Luke Caudle Lawrence Davey, and Neil Newstead, Hamish Brandon and Henry Dupree. In the Cooper class, Shane Stoney victorious from Josh Gollin, William Phillips on the podium in third, clear of Ricky Page, Matt Hammond and Gideon Cresswell.
Yeah, that was so much fun. Most fun I've ever had in a front-wheel drive car. We made the right call on the slick front, wet rears, and hopefully thankfully they lasted until the end.
Yeah, it was a strange race. Really quick at the beginning. Made a massive mistake on about lap 4. Lost Chris a little bit, but pushed hard and just didn't have enough to get it back.
It was going really well for the first half, but it just got caught the traffic wrong and got squeezed onto the grass, and he was right up my bumper again.
Quite close at the front flag. Disappointed to finish second again, but it's still on the podium. Good result, and I'm up there pushing him.
Some very happy drivers after that, and a much better result for Luke Cordell. We still have another race to come here at Castle Combe with changeable weather, as Shane said, and also a reverse of the top 8. We'll see you after the break.